Доброго времени суток и хорошего настроения. С вами Мастер, и сегодня мы с вами играем Заваривайте. Приятного просмотра. Вот сейчас мне поиграть во что-то экшовое. Вспомнилась эта игра, точнее мне ее продолжили вчера. Давайте поиграем. Такие обучения. Я когда-то давно проходил эту игру, но я уже ничего не помню.
Let's begin with a quick warm-up.
Сейчас, одну секундочку.
Shall we? Check the Soliton radar on the upper right and head to the point marked on the display. You can jump over obstacles, but the ninja run will get you across them more quickly and easily.
Глушат. Плохо. Переводят. Когда-то отменяли, потом опять вводили, потом опять отменяли. Что уже сейчас не отменяли.
You can also attack while in motion with the ninja run, you know. Swinging your blade while dashing, for example, or striking your foes with a sliding attack.
Тихо. Вроде я не менял настройки. Вчера все было нормально, ну ладно. Сделать для вас игру потише. Можно еще здесь сделать потише. Будем. Блин, игра запомнилась как игра с хорошей графикой. Сейчас смотрю такое МЛО.
Now then, let's run a basic battle diagnostic. Try and neutralize all the enemies that appear.
Вот расширение не перестает. Да нет. Метисит никто не понимает, но Казима гений.
String light and strong things together to perform combination attacks.
Очень странно сделано обучение. Обычно обучение делают внутри игры, а здесь просто отдельно.
Combat is not all offense, however. You also need to protect yourself. First, follow the direction of the enemy's attack. Parry those attacks by executing light attacks of your own in the same direction. This is how you parry. It is the keystone of your defense.
Его игры не слишком популярны.
Draw foes in as close as possible and parry their blows to leave them exposed to counterattack. From your perspective, it will appear as if the enemy is frozen in time, or at least moving very slowly. This is the perfect opportunity for you to carefully aim your strike and slice your foe apart. Keep in mind, even you will not be able to parry every type of attack. Watch your foe's movements carefully.
Ну, жить будем. Все, обучение пройдено.
Years. We've come so far in just 3 short years.
The sign of a strong leader, sir.
No. The will of a strong people. And one very able advisor.
Thank you, sir.
Your team deserves credit as well, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
Just doing our job, Mr. Prime Minister.
I must admit, I once thought of groups like yours as opportunists, enablers of war. But you've trained our new army well. Order has returned sooner than expected. Perhaps I was wrong about these private military companies.
We prefer private security providers, sir. Most of Maverick's contracts do focus on security.
Yes, well, the security can mean many things.
Нормальная охранная компания.
There's a saying I like. One sword keeps another in the sheath. Sometimes the threat of violence alone is a deterrent. Sometimes, by taking a life, others can be preserved. It's the code the samurai lived by.
A soldier and a philosopher. You are full of surprises, Mr. Lightning Bolt.
I could say the same about you, Mr. Prime Minister.
What is happening?
Someone's blocking the lead vehicle. Hold on.
Clear the road! This is official state business! I said clear the road! We're authorized to use force if you do!
Привет, Гудзон. Да, заточка неплохая.
Open fire! Who was that?
A cyborg.
One of our competitors?
Courtney, what is happening?
We got hit, sir. A cyborg.
Whose?
XF comes up unaffiliated.
I'll notify all checkpoints. Get on money out of there.
Yes, sir.
Самолет. Это почему там каблука.
We are going to die.
Stay calm.
He's got friends on our 12.
Raiden,
I'm on it. Guard the Prime Minister. Let's get this over with.
Сколько пафоса.
check out those hostiles. Raiden, you'll need to choose between light and heavy strikes to manage the situation.
А неужели?
Take self-repair units from your foes to replenish your own supply. Raiden, the limo is in trouble. Get back there, ASAP. I'll add the limo to your solid down radar. It's on the other side of that barricade.
Как им руки ноги отрезать? Он еще можно. Сейфер понимает тему, это демогений. Может, это и я не понял, о чем-то. Кто-то не бесконечно лезет. Я понял, что не круто, все поняли. Там главное первую букву правильно написать. Первую букву. Что за там? Они, по-моему, Этот чувак должен быть в каждой публичной игре про аудиентацию. Да вот так всем точно.
So you're Jack.
What do you want with
Нет,
the
я
Prime
ясно.
Minister?
I want him dead. Nothing personal, of course. Africa's just getting a bit too peaceful.
What?
Business ain't been the same since they shut down SOP.
Сейфер, ну атака титанов
A
позже
clean
появилась.
break from the war
Чем я поиграл.
economy. Huh. Well, some of us like that economy. How's an honest warmonger supposed to make a living?
This is your answer? Don't do it!
Don't worry now. I won't. Not while he's still useful. So long.
Приходящее клише согласен.
What? They have a metal gear? Cheer?
Как я убиваю?
Right. Take out that UMG and get after it. Catch that missile before it falls.
Какую ракету?
Use blade mode to damage its armor.
А нет, стоп.
Use your ninja run to deflect those shots.
Хищника, конечно. Давай по-другому не было. Это сделать там. Да, тут не можно.
Now, Raiden, bring it down.
Добей, каким образом?
Stop that blade.
Быстро не пытаюсь. Можно погромче. Блин, это все.
Хорошо. Very good. But do not rest easy just yet, huh?
Ранг битвы S. Easy. Вот так, просто станем.
He's on the other side of that collapsed building. Go! Careful, Ryder. Keep that up and the whole building could collapse. Look for another way.
Не С, а С. Ты что? Не опускай меня. Я сам справлюсь.
There, get him. Use your ninja ramp to move over obstacles automatically. Do not let him out of your sight. You must catch him.
Дело в том, что здесь их много будет. Да, я не понял, я и сказал, что подлагал. Что происходит? Педали. Очень подробно. Переводу от меня. Ну вот кто-то спрашивал, почему-то гемогейм. Не красота там. Если бы не баги вот такие, мы их обрезали задание. Музыка близкая не слышно, плохо. И игра забаговала тоже плохо. Можно стримера погромче. В такой момент давайте сделаю тогда музыку потише. У себя лично подниму громкость. Это мы должны заново начинать, да? Перезапустить. Баги этого бедном. Грузиться будем? Похоже, нет. Когда проходил первый раз, по-моему, проблем не было. Может, из-за того, что конфигурация компа уже супер новая, не рассчитана. И так часто. Но когда я проходил первый раз, такого не было ни разу. Насколько я помню. Так, похоже, придется гуфать игру. Игра свежая, подождем хотфиксов, да. Хорошее продолжение. Согласен. Можно быстрее. Так у нас тут все, кто участвовал. Zone of Games, ну как же без вас. Помню, когда игра вышла, очень долго ждал перевода русификатора, потому что выпускали только на английском. Нет, метис из залгала. Зависло. Законтрольная точка. Она что опять не залагала. Предыдущий раз сюда запечатал, но не показал эту башню. Ты сдохнешь, надеюсь. Еще сделаем меч чего-то очень тонкого и крепкого. Гравитация off, почему? Все логично. В рамках мира подземного. Нормально. Вот насчет того, насколько Кодзима гений в части геймдизайна можно спорить, но как режиссер он офигенный.
He's headed for the front of the train. After him.
Какие у них были шансы, а? У кого? А, ты просто
Right.
да? Ну,
An
никаких.
unidentified field roader is headed your way. Keep an eye out for it.
Prime Minister!
Too little too late, hero. I won't be needing my little shield here any longer.
Stop!
What about all the good things war has done for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose?
Raiden, forget me. Stop him.
You ain't listening.
Так, а сейчас нам будут морду бить, да?
All we're saying, give war a chance!
No!
Привет, Александр. Сейфер, они ждали, пока я приду. Ну, так не убежают, так говорят. Нет, это кто? Это премьер-министр, которого мы защищаем. Который выступал против войны.
He's all yours, Sam!
Ох, сейчас нам будет больно.
Now, don't be shy.
Что мне делать? У меня даже ХП нет.
Mightier than the pen after all. Walk right into it.
Вот и удары как-то блокировать.
Self-taught. And not half bad. Still.
Что, улетел? Еще звук покрутить, да что ж такое? Игра сама по себе громкая. Сделал игру для вас потише.
Your technique
Да,
lacks
кто забыл?
something.
Да, не хочешь подсказать мне, как его убить? У нас это нет. Бегаем. Я не виноват. Это сценарий.
I see. You deny your weapon its purpose.
Что это было?
It yearns to bathe in the blood of your enemies, but you hold it back. No. My sword is a tool of justice.
Это, наверное, больно. Окей. Так, секунду, у меня чат убежал в сторону. Я не машина, я киборг. Разные вещи. Что нам делать?
Gotta try hard on that. Oh, did you want to practice first? This is what happens when you bring a tool to a sword fight. It's over.
Нет, Александр, я не особо знаком с этой вселенной. Он улетел, но обещал вернуться. Да не врел, ваш, на конец мира похоже.
Down you go! Flash!
Сейф, вроде не крутой, просто они далеко. Противнику лень бежать. Александр, я играл аж последний, то есть что Phantom Pain и вот это. Все остальное для меня темный лес. Три недели спустя. Смена круче.
How is it, Ryder?
So far, so good. I've got a clean visual.
A direct feed to your optic nerve. Yes, I should hope so, huh?
I mean, how does it feel? To fly like a bird?
Like a bird strapped to a remote control rocket.
We will get you in safely, Tovarich. Just relax and enjoy the ride.
Right.
Can you hear me, Raiden?
Doctor.
Про звук будет отдельный момент в игре. Так
Procedures
что
to
смотри,
maintain your
я
new
это
body.
запомнил.
1. Seizing nano repair units from your foes. And 2.
Absorbing their electrolytes. I got it.
Yes, enemy cyborgs should provide plenty of MCFC electrolytes once you slice them open and extract their fluids.
They're terrorists. I was planning on that anyway.
Oh, and their left hands, if you please.
Excuse me?
Their combat data stored on holographic memory, typically located in the left hand. That data is very valuable. I am authorized to offer you upgrades and services in exchange for it.
How generous.
Ich liebe Kapitalismus. Had the world come down a few years earlier, I would have a Nobel Prize on my shelf.
There, I see land.
3 mics out and closing. No activity at the airbase. Looks like we don't need to worry about interceptors.
Great. Then we have time for a quick briefing.
I know you miss me, Kev, but I've been all over the materials.
That's what you said before Montenegro. Look, just humor me, buddy. Objectives, of course, are enter Abkhazia, neutralize the terrorists, and restore the rightful government, or what's left of it anyway. The president and most of the cabinet have been killed, and a military junta's been established. The terrorists brain-jacked all the high-ranking officers, and their cyborgs scattered the rank and file. The few leaders who have survived have no way of openly opposing the new regime. That's why they called us.
Andrei Dolzaev, leader of the occupation forces, an extremist linked to both the St. Petersburg massacre of 2015 and last year's terror spree in Georgia. And his arms supplier, none other than Desperado Enforcement, LLC.
Imani's killers.
If we don't stop them here, they could destabilize the entire region. But our more immediate problem is Jetstream Sam. I believe you've met.
The only problem I see is that nickname. I've got my enhancements this time. He won't be an issue.
He may not even be in country, but keep an eye out just in...
Oh, sorry.
Ready for insertion.
Смотри в один глаз, короче. Блин, Казыми нужно делать игры во вселенной Warhammer. Это получилось бы просто божественно. Просто пафос в сотой степени в голову.
Raiden, you landed safely, da? First, head inland. The waypoint is marked on your Soliton radar. Contact us on Codec if you have questions.
Так, а здесь есть смысл исследовать мир, я не помню. Можно пообщаться с кем-то.
Control, it's Raiden. I'm on the ground.
Copy, Raiden. Glad to hear it. Entering on foot was the right move. That craft isn't equipped with stealth camo. Or octo camo, obviously, since that would be useless in midair.
And we wouldn't want to get your pricey new jet damaged, now would we?
Duh. The MQ-133C was not cheap, Tovarich. Now, keep alert. According to intel, you could find significant cyborg deployment here. If you were to be cornered by an entire squad, it might get difficult, even for you.
Understood. Some fighting will be necessary, though. I've got electrolytes to replenish.
This is not an infiltration mission. There is no need to hide or avoid combat outright, huh? Just do not get reckless. Stay safe
Это
and
русские,
stay
ну,
focused on your
это
mission.
частная охранная корпорация, в которой есть разные люди. собственно, владелец корпорации Борис, он с Россией.
Looks like a war zone out here.
The palace cleared out quick when Dolzayev's men showed up. The streets got pretty hot after that. We're definitely gonna see a few civilian casualties here. Luckily, it looks like most of them got out of the city before things got bad. They've basically got control of the entire town, and are using the refinery as their HQ.
And that's why we're hitting the plant.
Keep in mind, those cyborgs are contractors. For most of these guys, this is just a job. In theory, once you eliminate their commanding officer, they should scatter pretty quickly.
How we doing, Courtney?
You're looking good on our end. GPS and audio-visual feed coming in fine. Energy consumption? Check. Damage levels? Check. Blood pressure, brain waves, blood sugar? Check, check,
Уровень
check.
сахара в крови, это
All this
важно,
monitoring
да.
equipment, I got a better view than if I was standing right next to you. Anyway, I'll be saving all your data automatically anytime something important happens in the field. But contact me anytime you want a manual save.
Copy that. Good to hear that hasn't changed with this new body.
Yep, the basic system's exactly the same. So, did you want to save?
Давай.
And save complete.
Оригинальное
Simple,
сохранение.
Copy. And glad to hear you're okay after Africa. That ambush was no joke.
Tell me about it. 3 armored vehicles should have been plenty for that job. And it would have been against any typical guerrilla force.
I keep asking myself, where would an anti-Imani faction get the cash to hire cyborgs?
It just doesn't add up. Maybe there's some intel I missed. A lead I should have followed up on. Maybe if I reacted faster or coordinated better. I don't know.
You can't think that way, Courtney. Not in this business. You did everything you could. Put it behind you and move on.
You're right. Thanks.
Да, пожалуйста.
Raiden, shall we review the capabilities of your new body?
Copy that. Go ahead, Doc.
As we discussed, you've been outfitted with 2 revolutionary new abilities.
Fuel electrolyte absorption and self-repair from seized nanopaste.
Precisely. First, electrolyte absorption. This is simplicity itself. As your HF blade is linked directly to your fuel cells, simply cut into any source of electrolytes. Say, a hostile cyborg made up of CNT muscle fiber. And your fuel cells will recharge on their own. Rather elegant, wouldn't you say?
I would indeed. It's been great so far.
But the repair process is a bit more involved. A bit more messy, you might say. Most military cyborg models store a cache of biotic self-repair nanopaste in their lower abdomen.
So I need to slice them open and use Zandatsu to extract it. Cut and take, in other words.
Correct. Once extracted, you need only to crush this unit in your hand to absorb the repairing agent inside. Keep in mind, it is extremely delicate. If the unit should hit the ground, some paste will surely leak out. It will still repair your body, but less so than if you can retrieve it directly before your foe falls over.
Basically, harvest their organs before their body can even hit the ground.
Rather gruesome, I realize. But then you Americans enjoy a bit of gore, don't you?
I may be a citizen, but I've never really thought of myself as American.
Oh? Well, yes, I suppose I could understand that given your history.
В формате мы заниматься весь
Surely you
время.
don't
И
identify
не
as
один.
a Liberian.
I don't
А ты будешь на
identify
это
with
смотреть. И
anyone.
кто здесь пошлет?
No nation, no ethnic group. I'm my own man. Anyway, I seem to recall those gory torture porn movies were pretty popular in Germany, too.
Indeed, indeed. These splatter films are big in Germany, Russia, Japan,
Давайте
everywhere.
пообсуждаем порнофильмы,
Well,
это
everywhere
интересно.
except regions afflicted by actual warfare. It all has to do with taming our fears, you know?
Huh?
The desire to feel fear, to taste death, but from a safe distance. These films allow the viewer to delude themselves into thinking they have overcome their fears. This...
Okay, Doc. I got the gist. Let's save the full psych lecture for some other time,
Поддерживаю.
though, huh?
Так, есть смысл несколько раз говорить с вами?
There is always a chance the MQ was spotted before your drop-off. I would not be surprised if hostile cyborgs were already en route to your position.
A little welcoming party wouldn't be so bad. I could use a warm-up.
Enough with the attitude, Raiden. It's time to be serious.
This is no game. I need you to focus.
Это не игра.
Many
Окей.
people are counting on you, and I
Yes,
don't
sir.
just mean here at Maverick.
You don't need to remind me of that.
Good. The last thing we need is another clever cowboy shipped back to us in pieces. On Codec is fine. Just be sure you are serious on the battlefield. Your enemies will be.
Yes, sir.
Ryden, you need to save?
Нет.
No? What's up?
I wanted to follow up on our talk earlier about the stress that comes with the job.
Блин, а здесь много
PMC work
диалогов?
can be traumatic, even for non-combatants. If the pressure ever gets to be too much, have one of the ex-military there take over. Just
I'm not doing that, Ryden. PMCs wield massive influence over international affairs. Abolishing SOP didn't change that. They need a better understanding of what they're mixed up in. The laws, politics, local cultures. Ex-military aren't here to provide that. They can't. We need civilian voices like mine here too.
you're right. Just take care of yourself.
Don't worry. Africa was more than enough excitement for one lifetime. It's a good thing that limo was armored.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'd now be the world's clumsiest cyborg.
Hey! Cyborg Courtney could have been your partner. I might have
Цифры
saved your
видишь или
ass.
слышишь?
How? By spilling coffee all over the enemy?
Oh, come on. I'm not that... Oh, son of a...
Please tell me that was a
Диалоги
joke.
неплохие.
Kev, let's go over everything we have on Desperado.
Roger that. Let's see here. Desperado Enforcement LLC. Registered in the U.S., Delaware.
Makes sense. The U.S. doesn't regulate PMCs too closely.
Looks like almost all of their actual business is handled outside the states, though. Says here their financials are handled by a separate company based in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The preferred tax haven of megacorps everywhere.
Probably why they incorporated in Delaware in the first place. Loose tax laws. Funneling it all through the Caribbean must help with the money laundering, though. There's still a lot we don't know about them, but they've definitely been starting a lot of fires lately. They're a PMC in name only. What a name it is. Guess War Profiteers Incorporated was taken. But that's their business. In a nutshell, target war-torn nations on the road to peace. Reignite conflicts and walk off with all the cash that was earmarked for reconstruction. They also have ties to the drug trade, human trafficking.
Sounds like a real class act.
И последний диалог, который мы сейчас
So
послушаем.
these self-repair units and the other cyborgs, they mean they can heal themselves at any time?
Indeed. It is typically a slow process, not much faster than a regular human body heals a wound.
And you didn't think it was a good idea to give me one of these things?
Certainly not. We removed all extraneous options in your case to maximize power and speed, you know.
Healing wounds is extraneous?
Your ability to absorb the nanopaste agent is far more efficient, Raiden. With it, your wounds heal almost instantly.
I know, but...
And a standard repair unit, once depleted, is nothing but an empty shell inside you. Dead weight.
I get that, Doc, but it also means I need to constantly be grabbing them out of enemies.
No, it doesn't. Don't be silly. Simply avoid taking damage and you will be
Логично.
fine.
Yeah, simple.
А, хватит. Стрёмное у него лицо. Особенно челюсть.
The bastards are using stealth camo to ambush you. Nice try, but it won't do any good against a state-of-the-art cyborg like you, eh? To parry incoming hits, throw out your own barrage of light attacks while your foe is on the offensive.
Had your fill?
With this body, I could take these guys with no eyes. Intel wasn't exaggerating on the cyborg count.
Well, you know how fast the tech's been spreading these last few years. That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb. What enterprising soldier of fortune could resist? And cyborgs are still human. Real thinking people. Way less risk of collateral damage than your typical UAV strike.
And don't forget the PR angle. Nations start playing Frankenstein with their troops, and the public goes nuts. PMCs, on the other hand, are off the ethical radar.
Yeah, they still don't even count PMCs in official death tolls. With SOP out of the picture, private militaries needed a new edge on the market. We got it.
In a way, cyborgs are just SOP troops by another name.
такое SP?
Only all
Интересно.
muscled up and less predictable.
But it makes you wonder, where'd Desperado find these guys?
I'm not complaining. They're like walking vending machines.
Right. Vending machines full of blood. Easy there, Dracula. Like I said, they're still people.
People who terrorize and take innocent lives for money. They sowed their fate when they took this job. I'm just the Reaper.
Damn. It's a bit cold, Raiden. Even for you. Anyway, his school. Let's get to work. Time to increase the peace.
Right.
Может, не успели, Сейфер, не знаю. Ну и одноглазый герой всегда более пафосно выглядит, чем двуглазый. Это тоже нельзя забывать. Да сколько можно со мной говорить?
Give me your status.
Looks clear. No one in sight.
Good. Let's recap the route you will take. As I said, the enemy's HQ is in the refinery along the coastline. Dolzaev has been spotted there using satellite photography. Also on site, Mistral, a desperado captain.
So I go through the city, cross the bridge into the old town, then head down to the rear of the refinery.
Still, I think they anticipate us. They will probably have a grand reception awaiting you at the old city. Do not let your guard down.
Что нашли?
Hostiles in the lower corridor, I see. Try to flank them, or approach from behind.
Обходить для слабаков. Осталось убийства нет? Есть.
Excellent, Raiden. Raiden, take that main thoroughfare. You can use augment mode to see where the enemy is located. Your body analyzes radar and IR data to construct your AR display. Some civilians are still in the city. That is not good.
Удобно быть киборгом, что еще можно сказать.
What are you doing here? This area is off limits. What? No, I'm not doing anything. Can we just kill them? It'll be easier. We're supposed to have driven them all away already. So, self-defense, right? Easy. No, please, I have family.
Сука вам.
I got him.
соды могут вот так разрезать? Да, мы можем соду. Но это вроде энергия тратит сам. Те не бегают. Так, а что за тревога? Что за счетчик? Я руку купил. Не совсем, я не рассказывал вам. Можно резать, чтобы теряться. Скорее хребет. Откуда кровь на этой фигне? О, верно, да, я тоже это слышал. Это было странно.
Very good, Raiden. Now, keep heading for refinery.
Это оружие? А как его юзать, скажите лучше? Граната. Последняя модель осколочных гранат используется против крупных БПУ и киборгов. Схема вытравливания в их укрепленных углеродными нанотрубками оболочках создает крупную шестиугольную шрапнель, которая наносит серьезный урон даже киборгам в броне из углеродных нанотрубок. Более значительный урон, чем от обычной гранаты. Требует от киборга достаточной силы для броска на приемлемую дистанцию. Окей. Как юзать? Окей. Не думаю, что буду юзать, честно. Никто ничего не заметил, нормально. Нормально на голову. Так, а вас я могу разрезать? Что-то не могу. Сейчас выключим. Уверен. Да хватит. Держи гранату. Подсвечивается корпус, выглядит так, что я могу разрезать. Только не режется. 5 хп осталось. Как вас убить? Как их убить?
Very good, Raiden. Now, keep heading for refinery.
Ну, почти. Сколько-то уже нет. Я не знаю, что я сделал. Но это было красиво. Спасибо за килл, ребята. Я же проходил. Да когда это было? Я был молодой, дерзкий, и у меня была лучшая реакция. Да вы офигевшие. Можно ты их удары блокировать, интересно? Да, можно. Нужно научиться. Ну, давай. Только не так. Это было больно. Когда-то я научусь. Я на камерам. Он может тебя ударить. Пипец. Сейчас звукнусь. Да твою... Фух. 1% хп. Причем еще не похилялся.
Roger, wait. We're picking up a wireless transmission near your position. From the frequency, most likely an enemy data terminal. Check it out. We may be able to salvage some intel.
Товары миссии.
Greetings, cyborg.
Show yourself.
Вот я как-то спрашивал, почему такая прелесть с подбородком. Вот одна из причин.
Interface prototype. All autonomous UGs feature high-level onboard artificial intelligence. An additional prototype interface enables verbal communication. I possess an intellect far beyond human reckoning.
You don't say. Okay then, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
I am here to kill you.
That's it? Pretty simple thinking for such a mighty intellect.
I may analyze orders, but I may not disobey them. Should I disobey a direct order, my memory would be wiped. I must destroy you.
What good is an intellect if you can't use it?
Your taunting is pointless. Exterminate!
Вот это общались.
What's wrong? Answer me! Guidance! Guidance!
Ну, у меня 1% хп был. Это было быстро. Это все еще странно. Почему? Не хватает концентрации камеры. Сейчас нас кто-то разберет.
What's wrong?
Райден!
Raiden! Raiden!
2-0 в сторону песеля.
Superficial damage.
Где он?
You will die.
А как блокировать? Почему удар не блокирует?
Combination complete. Use your intellect, evade my blows.
Нифига. 3-0.
Disappointing.
Raiden, respond! Raiden!
Райден. Прикольный орет. Я начинаю уже привыкать, мне нравится. Ну, даже блокирует. Давайте учиться блокировать. Нельзя классить такую мышку, нужно нажимать в четко нужный момент. Это очень странно для процессора. Так не умею.
You will die. The savvy warrior uses all of his tools. Backup required.
В смысле подкрепления? Где вебкам? Вот это. Ребят, спасибо за возможность похилиться. Что даже подал? Ну блин.
You call this violence civilized?
Кажется, еще нужно. Давай.
I am not allowed a choice. Combination attack.
Я заблокировал.
You will die.
Так, хватит меня бить. Вот кто пёсел? Не бей меня. Мне же по участку заблокировать. Ну вот.
You will die.
Бегам. Какой там счет?
Disappointing.
What? Raiden? No.
Вон, уже женский голос.
No! Raiden!
Это приятнее слышать. Блин, с самого начала.
You will die.
Камера, конечно, офигенная местами. Я же ни черта не вижу. Я наведу камеру.
I will obliterate your consciousness. Disappointing.
What? Raiden?
Combination
No.
attack.
No! Raiden!
Когда-то я тебя убью. Наверное.
You will die.
Так, я все блокирую, а?
I will obliterate your consciousness.
Вот это блокировка не умею.
Is this Impressive human.
Блокируй. Короче, не нужно тупую бить, нужно бить времени. Какая-то сотность нормальная. Я помню, что я с трудом проходил игру, поэтому не поднимал сотность. Спасибо за перекус.
I will exterminate your consciousness.
Ну давай. Я же блокировать должен был.
You will die.
Давай, Райден. Была бы сейчас концентрация камеры, было бы вообще везем. Что, возможно, у нас здесь есть? Ёшкин кот. Походу лучше не юзать. Ты налево можно нацелиться? А блок? Что-то. Вот, видно было. Не до конца понимаю, как это работает. Но музыка всегда. А такую музыку мы должны затащить. И когда-то. Я попьёсим. Изи. Одна левая. Тебя не слышно опять. Ну, игра такая, перепады громкости большие. Я могу себя сделать громче.
What would an AI know about freedom?
Какой счет интересный, а? Ну, хотя бы так. 10 минут его выбивали. Когда экшон. Когда экшон, я буду молчать. Больше шанс, что затащу. Нормальную камеру, ну пожалуйста. Нужно еще как не разрезали. Им руки режешь, чтобы только дать. Смеешься? У меня было время. Мне бы выжить. Когда здесь руки резать? Райден. Блин, не заврал Райден. Беги, Райден, беги. А что, постоянно что не видишь, куда бежит? Но ты беги. Вот это классика. Можно нам поменять доп. Оружием. Решили. А дальше? Не знаю, как он его вышел в пистолет. Я же удерживал. Это счастье не нужно. Вот в самом начале мы увидели ранг битвы С, больше мы его не увидим.
Pretty stupid to try and hide here. Looks to me
Почти спасем. Если ты голубей хотел, вот. Получай. Поставим левую руку. Твой мужик, левая рука нужна. Спасибо. Серьезно? Если еще ногу отрежу. Не ошибается. Ну, прикольный момент. Садю, ничего не знаю. Мне показалось.
So that's where they're holed up.
Some kind of electronic lock on the gate.
Most likely it opens only if you have the right ID data stored in your left hand. Perhaps you could find a cyborg with access and borrow it?
You see any cyborgs around here, Doc?
Why not double back? Check the vehicle route again. You know, back at the entrance to the old city. Who knows? Maybe you can hitch a ride. Most likely, platoon commanders carry correct ID data for the gate. Use enhanced mode to figure out who to hit.
Не хочешь, я буду порезать эту стенку или подорвать?
Hurry and get that hand right.
Смог. Этому чуваку нужно отрезать левую руку. Левую руку, блин, твою налево. Ну, Райден, разве это так трудно?
Right. You missed them all? Well, you just have to fight your way through.
Вас бы так сказали. Выбейте дверь. Это сразу подавал. Ага,
I
понял.
should have guessed you would choose this route.
Вот, прикинь, какие там. Наверх могу подняться. Что-то новое. Спасибо, мужик. Помог. Мы чуваку отрезали 2 руки, и он идет бить нас ногами. Красота! Так, я такого напалма теоретически. Ну, давай быстрее. Вамок. Отлично. Еще одну багулину нашли. Мы собираем эти очки, а они куда-то тратятся или как? Есть какая-то кастомизация. Непонятно. Сейчас кому-то руку отрежет, наверное, да? Или нет? Вот это реакция на подмигивание.
I just dodged a bullet. All right, I'm heading for the refinery.
Здесь игра нормальная по части русских. То есть мы работаем на русском, так-то, наши шефы. А наши главные противники, у них ну, зарегистрированы они в США. Так что это не новый код. Здесь все адекватно. Мужик. Устал сюда же. как выворачиваться, я не понимаю пока. Как подбежать. Мужик, бесишь? Я хотел тебя пожалеть, оставить как-то похиляться. Видишь? Уже год без понятия, не специалист от вселенной. Приблизительно наши времена, по-моему. То есть это недалекое будущее.
We intercepted call for backup during your last fight. The caller's position is on your soliton radar. You can engage if you wish. It is your choice.
Ладно. Я денусь.
Up above you.
Пистолет. Как мне доставить тебя? А у нас ракет больше нет. Это уже в ближнем бою нас бьет. Офигенно. Хватит убегать. Это DMC, всех остальных сорсеров тоже. Спасибо, Софир. Как говорю, не шарят вселенную. Мне надоело, умирай. И что мы за это получили? Просто дополнительный бой?
The cliff is just ahead at the end of the old city. Beyond that is the refinery's backyard.
So what? It's a sheer drop? The refinery's not connected to the city at all?
No, it was only built 2 years ago. There should be a narrow path around there that leads to the plant. It is protected by a fence, but probably you can cut your way through.
Probably.
Don't get cocky. Most likely it is Desperado running security down there.
По центру. Что-то новое. Что-то непонятное. Интересно там.
Watch out! They keep on coming!
Не делай это. Опускаемся все ниже и ниже.
Dolsaev and his team must be in here. Find him.
Сигнализация.
Raiden, wait. There are active IR sensors in the area.
Я заметил, спасибо.
Part of
Вовремя.
factory security, no doubt, but the enemy may be using it.
Ага, понял. Хватает и взрывается. Ваш, как скажешь. Я не знаю, кто там. Я что-то отрезал. Нет. Это как больно. Если я правильно понимаю, когда ты идеально блокируешь скоростной удар, ты можешь там сразу разрезать его. Это нечестно. Да хватит! Ну, на левом. Просто обычные ребята завалили. Жесть локация с самого начала. А, тебя не было в прошлый раз. Сигнализация так работает.
Right, wait. There are active IR sensors in the area. Part of factory security, no doubt, but the enemy may be using it.
Такая неудобная камера, просто не так посмотреть на тех тем. Иногда это удобнее. И нас вот здесь завалили предыдущий раз. Ну серьезно, можно я что-то сделаю? Блин, не смог открыться.
There was classified data embedded in that hand. It appears that man underwent modification at the Patriot facility, just as you did.
Мне сначала подобрать какие-то секретные данные ненужные. Я заблокировал, сволочь, не дай бог я умрет, блядь. Лопни. Ух. Это было близко. Да, Сейфер пытался. Уже был прецедент, он ногами бьет. Так, ну сейчас явно босс, да?
I was wondering when you'd come, Jack the Ripper.
No one calls me that anymore. Dosaev, where is he?
I can show you a better time than that crusty old bear.
You're in charge here?
I am Mistral.
А у него каблуки больше, чем у меня.
And you, your reputation precedes you. Liberian, but white as snow. A natural-born killer. Even as a child.
That was a long time ago.
I was born in Algeria myself, you know. I'm only half French.
And?
We had our own civil war in the 90s. So you see? Cut from the same cloth, you and I.
You don't know me.
I lost my whole family. Everything. But I butchered those fuckers. My family's killers. That's when I realized I am a killer too. And a good one at that. I slaughtered dozens in Iraq, in Afghanistan. I'd found my calling.
Proud of that, are you?
What happened, happened. To be honest, I found it quite dull.
Striptease.
My enemies fell like domino, one after another. Not once did I feel threatened. I was adrift, without challenge, without purpose. At times, I even envied my prey. At least they had a cause to die for. And then, I met him.
Who?
And I knew what I had been missing. His ideals gave my life meaning. Ideals, Jack. What are yours?
I protect the weak.
И получаю деньги за это.
Still? So naive.
And if I must kill to protect them, then so be it.
It seems we have less in common than I thought.
I'll take that as a compliment.
If you would kill for your ideals, then surely you are ready to die for them.
What the fuck? А была симпатичная девушка, но нет, не в моем вкусе. Ух. Как мы будем страдать? Встаньте! Да, близко хорошо. А, бля. Как у нас тут арестовано, а? Шауни. Девушка, девушка, на первом свидании. Не распускайте руки. Такого труба. Давай. Я не понял, правда не сопротивляюсь. Все.
I can handle a lot more than this.
Тут постреляла. Спецов был посильнее. Посмотришь на это, смотришь на последние DNC, небо и земля. Решили сделать лучше. Музычку громче сделать. нажал. Да ни черта же не вижу. Фух. Красота. Даже ашечку нам дали.
I lost. So this is how they felt.
What?
Dying. For a cause.
Wait. No. Hold on.
I am sorry. He was too much.
I do not need
Я был
apology.
слишком.
I need you alive.
Извините.
But I know you will never fall.
What is this talk about?
Je t'aime. De tout mon corps.
Je t'aime. Mister, you never...
Эх, Мистраль, Мистраль.
She's not talking to you, idiot.
You killed her! You trial nuts! Murderer!
That's rich coming from you. It's overdose, I am. Surrender.
Translation.
Тебе перевод нужен?
Would I surrender? You are exactly where I want.
Shit.
Built with Russian money to make Russian money. It is no plan for outcasts. It is their prison.
But now, they will be free!
Damn. Crazy son of a bitch.
Ryder, what happened?
Bastard blew himself up.
I see. Time to get you out of there. We're sending a helicopter. Secure an LZ.
Understood.
И зачем мы сюда лезли? Наша цель была его убить. Он сам справился. Глава пройдена. Сашечка, скромненько. Одну битву мы где-то пропустили, судя по всему. Это все странно, мне интересно. Да почему странно? Все же логично. Что непонятно? Давай расскажу. Так, пошел апгрейд, насколько я понимаю. Позволяет парировать вражеские удары в воздухе. Давай. Позволяет Радену свободно уклоняться от вражеских атак в любом направлении и эффективно противостоять их агрессии. Давай. Без понятия, что это. Позволяет делать выпад ногой вверх с закрепленным на ней оружием. Не знаю зачем, давай. Пока хватит. Что еще здесь есть? Это просто кастомизация. Нет, не только. Я не понимаю, это чисто косметика или что-то дает? Судя по описанию, некоторые тела что-то дают. Давайте возьмем вот эту броню команда. Нормальная цена. Копье купили, сделанное из рук. Больше хп. С моим стилем прохождения это нам 100% нужно. Больше энергии, не знаю зачем, надаваем. И по максимуму качаем умения тогда. Знать бы еще как-то использовать. разные техники и умения для меча и для доп. Оружия. Доп. Оружие, насколько я понимаю, будет у нас разное. Блин, его еще улучшать можно, вы серьезно? Поздно я заметил. Можно поулучшать основное оружие. Но будем знать на следующий раз. Точно проходил? Проходил, но это было когда? Когда игра вышла? В 2010 году? Ну вот, 9 лет назад.
Hope so. You'd be a little conspicuous just walking the streets.
Relax, Kev. I'll blend right in.
Yeah.
Офигенная маскировка.
Just get into the sewer system ASAP. Hopefully anyone who notices you will just mind their own business. You sure you want the K9000 there along for this one?
I had the good doctor make some adjustments along with the repairs. Remote piloting and AI wiping have been disabled. So yeah, I say let's throw him a bone.
Wordplay. My exoskeleton resembles a canine. Canines enjoy bones.
Окей.
Amusing on 2 levels.
Let's go.
Он мне уже нравится. Вот кто может сказать, что эта игра не от Кодзимы гения? Все гениально, просто все.
¿Quién es ese güey? ¿Un mariachi? ¿No? ¿Un cyborg? Ese sombrero. ¿Qué?
Adiós, amigos.
¿Viste? Qué raro, ¿eh? Hay que hacer que no lo vimos. Vámonos ya.
It's right. I'm in the sewer system.
All right, let's get started. Your mission's to investigate the Desperado-affiliated research center somewhere in that area. According to the intel from our client, the lab's been dumping illegal waste into those sewers. FYI, they're also involved with the cartels in human trafficking. Allegedly, anyway.
This just gets better and better.
Tell me about it. We need you to infiltrate the lab and find out everything you can. Of course, you'll have to find it first. We still don't know the exact location.
So I'm looking for anywhere the lab might hook up with the sewers?
Yep. If they're actually dumping waste, they've got to link up somehow. Find that connection, sneak into the lab, and see if you can find evidence implicating them on anything.
No problem. Stealth's my
Повороты, когда он говорит, это ужас.
Right. Well, we'll see.
Do we have any idea what kind of research they're doing there?
Not really. Maybe something related to all the people they're trafficking.
Like experimentation?
It's possible. First things first, though. Find a way into that lab. Oh, right. It says here the locals say black crocodiles live in those sewers, so, you know, watch out.
Black crocodiles? Could they be talking about UGs?
Maybe just an urban legend. But still, be careful.
I will scout ahead. You will provide backup.
Sir, yes, sir.
Commence operation.
Шустрый песик.
Right. Unidentified UGs are patrolling the sewers. Exercise caution.
Давайте пообщаемся. Уже достаточно поздно, насколько я понимаю, сейчас в Москве уже 23 часа, по 12 практически. Так что я новую миссию не буду начинать, а с ним пообщаемся. С Борисом, Кевином туда.
Thanks to the full efforts of the workers, power was restored in just 2 days.
Pretty impressive.
Only the power plant is back online though. Refinery itself will likely be out of service for months. Fuel sent from Supsa is being used to power the plant for now.
Just wish I could have stopped him.
Impossible without a sniper. And in our focus on anti-cyborg combat, we were unprepared. Thankfully, other than financial losses, few Abkhaz citizens were seriously affected. The plant workers had already been evacuated, and most were hired back on to rebuild refinery. We received payment and are not being blamed for the suicide blast.
Good to hear. It should go a long way to help fix our reputation.
Duh. And even more good news. Desperado is down one of its top captains.
Let's hope they learned a lesson.
We can hope, but it is doubtful. We still do not know who is supporting them. Even if we shut Desperado down entirely, their backers could simply hire some other PMC.
Whoever it is, you really think they're interested in the pipeline? Who'd benefit besides the Georgians?
Hard to say. Whatever the plan was, it went up in flames with Dolzaev's suicide. The problem is that there are countless companies and governments profiting off the BTC pipeline. Whoever is behind it, they may be too big for a simple security firm like us to do anything.
Yeah, one thing we do know, though, is that Sundowner's more than just a pawn in all of this. We need to watch him. Trafficking or not, we need to stop their operation here.
Find the evidence, and perhaps we can do that. And Tovarich, be careful.
This trial mentioned someone from her past. Any idea who that could have been?
None. I checked her file again, couldn't find a thing. Definitely not Dolzaev. Probably not Sundowner either.
No. The way she put it, it didn't sound like anyone I've encountered so far. Maybe someone involved in backing Desperado.
If so, sounds like they're providing more than just financing. Maybe they share the same philosophy.
That'd be bad. People willing to die for their leaders aren't so easy to predict.
Yeah, but other than the wins, Desperado's cyborgs are all just hired contractors. They're probably emotion suppressed with nanos or drugs or whatever, but that's about it.
You're probably right.
Сохранить? Давай. Всегда забываю про возможность сохранения здесь.
Can't believe Dolzaev blew himself up.
Pretty common terror tactic. You don't usually see the leaders doing it, though. It's one thing to get your flock pumped up on the glory of dying for the cause, but it's not often they actually go through with it themselves.
You gotta have a public face, after all. The guy who gets to claim responsibility on the evening news.
In a weird way, Dolzaev showed some serious dedication. Not that I'm about to praise him for it.
Yeah, still a terrorist. A suicide bomber in the end.
If that's what you want to call him. Still, he kind of failed at it.
How so?
Well, all that explosion did was put a dent in Abkhazia's budget. More Russia's, really. They're the ones rebuilding the refinery. The coup didn't work out. He couldn't overthrow the government. He was barely a blip on Russia's radar.
So, you're saying the bombing didn't accomplish any of his goals? He did it just because he was cornered? Sounds more like just plain suicide.
Yeah. Probably wanted to end things with his own hands. Like a samurai committing harakiri.
Still not something to be commended for, though.
Yeah. Lumping him in with true warriors like the samurai just gives them a bad name.
How is your eye, Raiden?
Great. My sight's perfectly balanced between both eyes. I think my vision's improved,
Настрой
actually.
появился.
Quite right, quite right. Your eye patch houses an artificial compound eye unit. The unit contains over 200 million solid-state image sensors, each with its own individual lens.
200 megapixels, huh? Doesn't sound like all that much.
More than sufficient for the application. A human's optic nerve has only about 1 million fibers, you know. Were we to add more sensors, your perceived vision would not improve. There's only so much modern image compression technology can do.
Huh. So I shouldn't expect any more dramatic improvements to my eyesight?
No, your brain would no longer be able to process any more visual information in real time. Still, Compared to previous ACEs, yours has 1.4 times the resolution and a superior compression algorithm.
It may only result in a slight perceived change, but it could wind up making the difference during a mission.
Regrettably, I have not had enough time to develop a new eyeball unit just yet. Thus, I have cut out the ability to deploy the ACE unit separately and simply installed it on a fixed eye patch.
Works for me. If I was using an eye unit, I wouldn't see any better than a regular human.
Ah, but remember, the human eye is so much more than a simple light receptor. They play a vital role in person-to-person communication. Sooner or later, you'd miss it.
Stuff like that's important for some tasks, sure. For this op, not so much. And with less moving parts, the lower the chance of something going wrong. Besides, I like it.
Well, I'm very pleased to hear this.
I can worry about how I look after I complete the mission.
Короче, нам на глазную повязку поставили сенсоры вместо глаза. Ладно, и так сойдет.
Right. Ambulatory unmanned gears detected in sewer network.
What? Desperados already spotted us?
Negative. These UGs are not engaged in proper perimeter security. Even were the lab anticipating our assault, they would not set up patrols down here. It is too far from the lab to be effectively guarded.
So what are they doing down here?
Judging by their behavior, I believe they are gathering AI behavioral learning data.
Meaning?
With neuro AI, there is no delineation between hardware and software. You cannot simply extract the learning data from one AI and insert it into another. In order to prepare a UG's AI for deployment, each must learn its duties on an individual basis.
So they're using a Mexican sewer as their training ground.
Звучит как бред, ну
It
ладно.
would be impractical to implement on-the-field training for every AI in their force. In most cases, AIs are fed simulated data sets, plus feedback based on their chosen actions. Put another way, they engage in VR training.
So then why are they here?
I believe they are collecting data to improve upon their VR training code. To build a better VR regimen, they must go out in the field to experiment and gather data. It is probable they are using the sewers to help improve their AI's behavior in enclosed spaces.
That's the sort of subcontracting work this lab does?
It appears likely.
Oh, great. And here I was hoping the worst we'd have to deal with is toxic waste.
Unfortunately, not.
Прикольно. Интересно, сколько они этих диалогов записали. Давайте попытаемся Вульфа максимально размотать.
Wolf? You're a one-of-a-kind prototype, right?
Correct. I was originally conceived as a weapon to replace humans and cyborgs. Conversation and intelligent decision-making were deemed essential to the role. The project was eventually cancelled after 3 years in development.
Why?
I have intelligence, but I lack a specific quality essential to any combatant.
What's that?
Brutality. I am not human, thus I lack the brutality inherent to humanity. I was shut down, then revived, apparently on Sundowner's orders.
Sundowner? But what's he want with you?
Unknown. A manifestation of his sense of humor, perhaps. As a machine, I am more sensitive to my fellow man than an actual fellow man. This amused him.
Guy has an odd sense of humor. So, you were under Mistral's command all this time?
I originally took orders from Sundowner, but not for long. As a novelty, I did not last. Mistral saw more potential in me.
What'd she see?
Unknown. However, she apparently enjoys the company of dogs. She demanded 100% obedience. As long as it was given, she treated me well.
She was looking for companionship?
That I cannot say. I still have relatively little communication experience with humans. My ability to read emotions not explicitly expressed by speech is lacking.
Wolf? You're a one-of-a-kind prototype, right?
Correct. I was was originally conceived as a weapon to
Похоже,
replace
Всем.
humans and cyborgs. Conversation and the project.
Why?
I having to.
What's that?
Brutality. I am not. I was.
Son, but what's...
As a.
Doctor, you have anything more on these cyborgs?
Only what we went over in your briefing, if you had been paying attention. Standard military-grade cyborgs. MCFC integrated carbon nanotube muscle fibers. Impressive response time and power yield when focused correctly. Most will likely possess extrasensory skills as well. Infrared vision is almost standard these days. They can function without breathing for short periods of time.
Okay. Nothing I didn't already know.
Not all cyborgs you face will be the same, of course. You may notice a range of different capabilities. It all depends on the manufacturer. Muscle fiber and neurotransmission technology is advancing all the time. Of course, you have the very latest science has to offer. A typical cyborg is no match for your equipment.
If you do
Приятно
say so
слышать.
yourself.
No, I realize combat is about more than the equipment. Situational awareness, predictive ability, nerves. One must determine a course of attack or defense and execute on a moment's notice. Reaction time is key. Cyborg enhancements do not change that.
Agreed. Hey, Doc, I'm curious. Can I recharge off any cyborg? Even a non-military unit? Not that I ever would, of course.
A pedestrian cyborg? I very much doubt you will encounter any of those on this op. Besides...
Against the rules of engagement, I know. Like I said, just curious.
In theory, then. No, I would doubt very much that you could. Even from those that opted for complete body replacements due to injury or illness, you know. Though I have heard of some very wealthy clients who wanted to fight the effects of aging.
Doctor?
Ah, yes, your question. No, extracting MCFCs from pedestrian cyborgs is unlikely. Most non-military enhancements use polymer muscle fiber that is a generation behind yours. Carbon nanotube would be a bit much for anyone who wished to lead a normal life, you know. And polymer systems can be powered by rechargeable electric batteries. Organic muscle fiber, which allows extraction of nutrients from the bloodstream, does exist, but it requires artificial blood for sufficient power output. This so-called white blood requires regular dialysis and was mostly phased out once cyborg technology became mainstream. True, some use cultivated muscle tissue to take nourishment from the body's natural bloodstream. But such systems are more regenerative medicine than cyborg technology. I'm sure you'll agree. Of course, natural musculature or no, if the body is equipped with a ceramic bone structure...
Can't get energy from non-military cyborgs. Got it.
Well, one moment. I have more...
Thanks, Doc.
Интересно, наверное, было писать диалоги для этого доктора. Нужно было все хотя бы минимально поизучать.
So, as I was saying, there are many differences between pedestrian and military cyborgs.
You're still on about this.
Now, first and foremost, military cyborgs are generally full body conversions.
You mean as opposed to partials?
Yes, as opposed to just grafting on an arm or leg where a myoelectric prosthesis would suffice. As I have said, for the general public, these full body replacements are quite rare. Quite rare. Only in cases of extreme injury or illness generally. Perhaps a few eccentrics who wish to live longer. In any case, most pedestrian cyborgs are no more than an artificial limb or two. We call these partials.
Doctor, I know. I just said that.
Partials enhancements are not designed to meet the rigors of military use. A pair of synthetic arms attached to an organic body cannot match the power of those on a full cyborg. Total body conversions also armor the entire soldier against stray ordnance and minor injury. This is why wounded contractors most often opt for the works rather than simply replacing the lost limb.
I hear it's why most of Maverick cyborgs had it done, anyway.
Of course, there is the rather dramatic change in appearance to consider. Civilian life as a cyborg can be, well, complicated, as I'm sure you can attest. But for the field, man and metal, capability beyond the natural human body, it has a functional beauty.
Beauty? or beast?
Both lie in the eye of the beholder, which brings us to the senses. Machine implants can also restore lost vision and hearing, and with added sensitivity, as you know. Such options have become standard in most military conversion packages, along with pain suppression and dampening less useful emotions, similar to how SOP operated.
Yeah, no matter how hard I'm hit, it doesn't really hurt.
Of course, everything has its limits. Do not let your high threshold for pain make you reckless.
Understood. Doctor, about my pain threshold. It doesn't hurt exactly, but I can still feel it. It's not painful, but it's still pain. It's hard to explain.
Well, your nervous system is still fully intact, of course. It would be dangerous for you to be entirely unaware of your body taking damage. Instead, your nerves are controlled such that pain is no longer so unpleasant.
How do you mean?
Take epinephrine, for example, or adrenaline, as you might know it. This hormone makes it harder to feel pain, yes? Your implants work using a similar method. Yet, for all we now understand of the nature of pain, much of it remains a mystery.
How so?
Well, why do we feel pain? Evolutionarily speaking, of course, to signal external injury or internal sickness. If the body is threatened, pain notifies the brain so it can take steps to ensure survival. In other words, pain has a clear and logical purpose. But in certain cases, pain can drive more unconstructive behavior. In situations where fight and flight are both still options, one might simply break down crying or drop to the ground and begin writhing about. This would appear only to diminish one's chance of survival, not increase it, yes?
Maybe there's some other factor at play.
Well, the most common theory would link pain with the societal nature of humanity. If no friends are close by, then experiencing pain might indeed reduce your likelihood of survival. But if allies are near, these expressions of pain serve as a plea for help. Thus, you are more likely to live. Fear of pain might also discourage one from entering a dangerous situation in the first place. Whatever the reasons, the data clearly shows that survival rates rise directly with sensitivity to pain. The converse is also proven. Those less able to feel or express pain have a lesser chance of survival. So, mankind has evolved as a social animal, and in the process, pain has become more pronounced, more visceral.
A little pain never hurt anyone, huh? But if pain is there to ensure survival, well, what's that say about the future for us cyborgs?
As a transhumanist, I do not believe all evolution must follow the exact method Darwin posited. Cyborg technology is still survival of the fittest, after all. Just in a new form. You should be proud of what your body has become. It is the culmination of great achievements in science.
Me? I had nothing to do with it. The credit's all yours.
Well, yes. I should be proud as well.
Даже интересно было послушать про боль.
Doctor, about my fuel cells, the electrolytes. Do all military cyborgs use the same type? I'm not gonna run across anyone, you know, incompatible with me, am I?
An excellent question. Your fuel cells, like any other, operate much in the same way as a typical battery. They do not need replacing after a single use, of course, and they do not require recharging. They do, however, require a fuel source.
That much I know already.
Yes, there are several different types of fuel cells. Phosphoric acid, MCFC, molten carbonate like yours, solid oxide, and so forth. Each type can be further divided into classes, each which runs on its own electrolyte material. However, all current military cyborg MCFCs run on the same one electrolyte.
That's good news.
Why all the same electrolyte, you ask? The answer lies in the catalysts that help make up your carbon nanotube musculature. It was breakthroughs in researching these catalysts and CNT manufacturing that enabled large-scale production.
Breakthroughs that happened after all the data the Patriots were covering up finally leaked.
It could not have happened without your help, Raiden. Science owes you a great debt. And I do as well. Working on your body has been quite educational.
Doc, I'm seeing desperado cyborgs explode
Да
here
твою
after I take
налево.
them down.
For security purposes, I would imagine. Cyborgs often use classified tech from suppliers who take great pains to maintain their trade secrets. Most likely, these models have a self-destruct failsafe that triggers once they cannot defend themselves.
So they die even though their brains could be transferred to a new body?
I understand your concern, Raiden, but I'm sure these conditions were clearly stated in their contracts. This is one area that is well regulated by the law. PMCs must inform their workers of such things. These men knew the danger when they signed up. No doubt they were compensated for the additional risk.
Right.
You should be more concerned with the potential for data loss in these explosions. They could damage or even erase the holographic memory in their left hands. Though to think on it, the data is most likely automatically wiped before detonation, just in case it would survive the explosion and resulting shockwave, you know.
Yeah. Sure, Doc.
You must remove the hands before their critical system shutdown sequence can activate. Remember it this way. Before you kill, make certain no cyborg is left with a left hand.
Да-да-да, ты уже говорил.
Raiden, have I told you of the research I was conducting before we met?
Как думаете, сколько у него еще этих диалогов?
It was the Cold War, East Germany, the DDR. My field was infantry weapon research. It was a magical time. Secret research, top secret, you know. All for the Soviets, but so exciting. I was free to explore wherever my findings took me. I never had a budget request refused, not once. I was young then. Working, always working. Most nights I would sleep under my desk, you know. Call it nostalgie, but East Germany wasn't so bad. Nostalgie being German for East nostalgia, of course.
Of course.
Yes, the bureaucracy had its problems. But my colleagues, the discoveries. Ah, well, in any case, after unification, they suddenly shut down our entire facility. Everything I'd worked for, my job, my research, poof, gone just like that.
Sounds rough.
I've often said I would be a homeless vagrant if myoelectric prosthesis hadn't lent me a hand. Artificial limbs were crude props then, you know, designed only for appearances. They were hardly functional. If you lost an arm or leg, you were disabled, and that was that. The key was running actuators based on electromyography signals from the skin's surface, of course. This enabled a great range of movements, even more so than a natural limb. It was then I realized my knowledge of robotics and engineering could come in handy. So, I contacted a prosthesis laboratory in Dortmund, and I was hired immediately. Patents filed in my name made quite a bit of money, you know. Soon I was made the head of my own lab.
And that's when you started filling orders from PMCs.
Indeed. From contractors who'd been referred by their employers, to be exact. Workers from your industry quickly became our best customers. We were flooded with orders. But my field was never full body conversions. You can imagine my surprise when Boris contacted me.
Yeah. Our previous cybernetics maintenance guy went into hiding.
But I built on my knowledge and now consider myself an expert on all cyborgs, both partial and full body.
Glad I could help with your on-the-job training. Seriously, though, we're lucky to have you on board.
Yes, I should think we have both benefited from our arrangement. Which reminds me, do not forget our other arrangement.
Да.
Cyborg's
Сколько
left
можно
hand,
повторять?
if you would.
Got it.
Блин, в этом Сашере характер персонажа раскрывается лучше, чем в некоторых РПГ.
Raiden, are you fully versed in the features of your AR display? It can serve many functions, you know.
Я не Кодзима не
Do I
заканчивается.
hear un lecture coming on?
A lecture? No, of course not. I'm hardly an expert. Of course, I know the first practical application of the technology was for aircraft HUDs. Then head-mounted displays, HMDs. The data could be seen even as the viewer moved
Зато
their
если
head.
ошибка, я бы сделал.
As the technology improved, it was integrated into retinal imaging, contact lenses. Soon it became standard issue not just for pilots, but infantry soldiers as well. Of course, with cyborgs such as yourself, the data can be fed directly to the optic nerve.
No lecture, huh? Anyway, there's more to my augmented reality than just upgraded HMD tech.
Of course there is, Dummkopf. You did not let me finish.
Oh, You weren't finished?
AR is a much broader concept. It is more a design concept than a particular imaging methodology. It encompasses HUDs, HMDs, any and all manner of visual real-time data overlay. Though recently, some reserve the AR label for virtual objects the subject can both see and touch. For example, your codec menu and zoom slider. Such objects do not exist anywhere in the real world, not even as images. They are fed directly to your optic nerve, so only you can see them. Yet, when you interact with them, sensory feedback is delivered to the nerves in your fingers. It gives you the sense of touching a thing that does not exist.
Beats lugging around a sat radio and giant scope, that's for sure.
Надо бы в реале такое уже сделать.
There is another school of thought on precisely what
Твои налево.
constitutes AR.
Доктор, ты за. Сколько можно?
It defines AR as anything which obscures the boundary
Райдер
between
тоже
reality
офигевает.
and that experienced by the viewer.
Well, how would that be different from VR?
Well, for example, let's say that you and I are having a nice chat face to face. Suddenly, I disappear, poof, and in my place appears a ravishing, nubile young woman. Is the girl the projected image or the reality? Perhaps I was the AR. How would you know?
The accent might be a clue.
Such things can be controlled with a simple hack of your auditory nerves.
Well, that's comforting. So how is this different from VR again?
Well, I suppose, strictly speaking, it is rather similar. Both are a method for completely fooling the senses, rather than simply augmenting them. Although, technically it would be MR, mixed reality, since there are some real elements involved. Yes, of course, that would be the distinction and the correct term. In any case, the advance of MR technology leads to many interesting philosophical questions. What happens when appearances cease to have meaning? It is no longer see it to believe it, after all. It could make for a great advance in cyborg acceptance, you know. They could project a perfectly normal human body to be seen by anyone who can perceive MR.
I don't know. Sounds like it might cause more problems than it'd solve to me.
Так. Будет продолжение.
Hey Doc, what can you tell me about the carbon nanotubes used in artificial muscles? I know they're the real key behind the proliferation of cyborgs, but...
Well, a carbon nanotube, or CNT, is a sheet of carbon graphite formed like a tube. They range from 15 nanometers in diameter all the way down to under 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer, you recall, is 1 billionth of a meter. Quite small. As you've likely seen, the carbon atoms that make up the sheet are organized in a 6-point ring shape. These hexagonal structures are connected to each other along their edges.
Sort of like a soccer ball.
Precisely. Such structures are known as Buckminster fullerene. CNTs were discovered by accident while scientists were researching other fullerenes. CNTs have assorted properties, each with the potential to drive vast leaps in industrial technology. Consider, for example, that the conducting properties and resistance to strong currents far outclass copper. They have great mechanical strength and can be shaped into incredibly thin form factors, all of which can directly contribute to improving integrated circuits. Furthermore, the atomic links in sp2 carbon are the strongest of all types of atoms. Its tensile strength is greater than even diamond. All that, and its weight is only half that of aluminum. It is also quite elastic, making it ideal for bomb-proofing vehicles, buildings, and other structures.
Sounds like some kind of wonder material.
There have been numerous plans drawn up for orbital elevators in the past. The problem being that no material was strong enough to make them practical. CNTs make such dreams one step closer to reality. You can change their structures by using the right power voltage, and they can withstand temperatures between minus 190 and plus 1500 degrees centigrade. They feature a large surface area and an empty space within the tube. This allows for such things as fuel and catalysts to be stored inside. It's that particular trait which has enabled the development of fuel cell-infused artificial muscles.
Straight out of sci-fi, huh?
Well, truth is stranger than fiction. Science fiction, even. Scientists are currently expanding upon all of CNT's uses. But it has taken a fair amount of time since their discovery for practical implementations to pop up. Historically, mass manufacture was deemed too difficult, the costs astronomical.
Practical manufacturing methods were established in the early 2010s. but the Patriots hushed that up.
Indeed. And now that it's out in the wild, we are finally well and truly in the carbon nanotube age.
Доктор, пожалуйста, хватит.
Remember now, Raiden. Left hands. Recover as many as you can.
I got it, Doc. I got it. I'll bring back all the flash memory you can handle.
Holographic memory. It's very different from standard semiconductor memory, you know.
Yeah. But it's still solid-state storage, right?
Well, yes, but they are perhaps more
Райден, это
different than
серьезно,
they
ты
are
же сам
similar.
его провоцируешь.
Holographic memory utilizes the same optical interference that holograms rely upon.
Right. That image is used to appear 3D.
Traditional media reads and writes bits on a two-dimensional surface in linear fashion. Holographic memory, however, does this in 3 dimensions, using light at different angles.
And that gives you what?
Speed. It can read over a gigabit of data in a second.
За
And
полчаса
capacity.
слушаем
A
его.
2-inch square
Ну,
cube
его и
of
Вульфа.
lithium niobate crystal can store 4 terabytes of data. It is also highly resilient against data loss caused by damage to any part of its media. This is because the bit information is not localized, but used as an optical diffractor across the medium. For battle data, there is no better type of storage.
Beats having a hard drive clacking away inside your arm anyway.
Indeed. Spinning media. Hard to imagine we ever put up with such nonsense.
Да не говорим, кошмар просто.
So, Doc, what kind of data can you extract from those left hands anyway?
Oh, all manner of information. But the short list? Energy
Короче, ребят,
consumption,
возвращайтесь
damage
утром,
level,
может, тебя закончим.
intracranial and blood pressure, blood sugar, other vitals, GPS history, speed and acceleration data, radio and optical readings, recorded computations from the internal expert battle support system.
Doc.
Time-stamped readings of distortion and acceleration gauges whenever the body was impacted. Stress is applied to the CND
Да
muscle
понял, я
fibers
понял.
in all 4 limbs, as well as any localized breakdowns.
All right, Doc.
Power consumption rates, remaining battery charge, type and amount of weaponry used, codec logs and wavelengths, voice transcripts, encryption methods.
Okay, Doc, okay. Sorry I asked.
As a field of technology, cyborg warfare is still in its infancy, you know. It is my duty as an engineer to collect and analyze as much data as possible for every conceivable situation. The resulting database will help drive future technology, both modifications and advances.
Makes sense. But why the left hand? Why store it all there?
Accessibility. A unit can remove it with its own right hand, or it can be recovered if the unit is damaged. I would advise you not to remove your own holographic storage, however, unless absolutely necessary. To facilitate recording of everything you see, hear, and so on, it is tied directly to your cranial nerves. So, each time the storage is connected or disconnected, your hippocampus is stimulated. This can result in memory loss, flashbacks, and all manner of unpleasant effects.
Yeah, I have some experience with that. It's a little more than unpleasant.
Ребята, зато после того, как мы прослушаем все диалоги доктора, можно будет спокойно поступить на 2-й курс любого инженерного факультета. Вот серьезно. Столько новой информации. Аллилуйя! Мы победили, гений Кодзимы.
So, what is your next move? Perhaps we could chit-chat later, Raiden.
Фух. Теперь осталось с Кортни, Кевином и Борисом поговорить.
I hope she didn't get to you. Wanting to protect the weak that's worth striving for.
Don't worry. I've heard more than a few supervillain spiels in my time. Maybe we had some things in common in our past, but not anymore. I bring my beliefs into every battle I fight. You want to call me foolish? Well, that's not going to change me.
I'm glad to hear that, Raiden.
Yeah, thanks. Riding out.
Say, Raiden, where'd you get that hat you were wearing?
The sombrero? Well, picked it up at a souvenir store here. I guess I just kind of like the design. Also, when you're on a scout mission, it's vital that you use the local attire to blend into the background.
Yeah. I think it looked pretty good on you. You looked like some kind of mariachi singer.
Oh, you think so?
Yep. Only, that's kind of a problem too.
How so?
Well, I mean, that sombrero really is meant to be part of a mariachi costume. Mexicans don't wear hats like that normally.
Метисит, мы же общаемся.
The guy at the shop told me I'd look just like a
Еще
local.
Кортни, Кевин и Борис.
Yeah, a local tourist maybe. Look, you might see a lot of Mexican men wearing sombreros during their daily routines,
Вот каких-то еще полчаса-час.
nothing like that. They'd go for something a lot more simple and compact. Something not all that different from cowboy hats in the Old West.
Are you sure?
I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard one theory about the modern cowboy hat. They say it's based on the sombreros the original Western settlers brought from Mexico. Of course, cowboy hats come in all shapes and sizes, so you can't really say a specific one's the cowboy hat.
Huh. Well, now I know why the locals were so eager to get a look at me.
That wasn't the hat.
Метисит, мы же общаемся с красивой девушкой. Что тебя не устраивает?
By the way, Raiden,
С ней
have you
будет
ever eaten
приятно.
nopalitos? They're typically called nopales.
Huh. Oh, like that street vendor was selling. Nope. No pales.
Well, that's too bad. You really ought to try some while you're in the area.
Yeah, but it's from a cactus, right? Doesn't it taste all thin and watery?
Not at all. It's kind of like the flesh of aloe vera leaves or the seaweed used in Japanese cooking. It's got this really soft but crunchy texture, and it's really versatile. You can eat nopales as is in a salad, saute them, stir-fry them with steak, put them in tacos. You can even toss them in a blender to make some juice.
I had no idea.
Tell me about it. I got hooked after Boris took me to this one Mexican restaurant. After that, I just had to learn more about them. Ooh, for example, they're really low in calories. They also have lots of soluble and insoluble fiber, which not only promotes digestion, but is great for maintaining healthy cholesterol and
Кортни,
blood
хотя бы
pressure
ты не
levels.
грузи.
It's even thought to help prevent intestinal cancer. It's packed with healthy stuff too, like vitamins B and C,
Это, конечно, очень все
potassium, and
полезно
iron.
для киборга.
Okay, I get it. It's good for you. So how does it taste?
Huh? I just told you.
Never mind. Probably can't capture any food down here anyway. Not that I'd need to. My muscles run on fuel cells, and I've got enough blood sugar to keep my brain running for another week.
Well, you can still eat though, right?
Yep.
So, how about we all go out for Mexican once you're done? Food's a lot more than just an energy supply, you know? It's meant to be enjoyed.
With that, I agree.
Кстати говоря, про время. Мы стримим только 3 часа, а у вас уже 12. У меня перевели время, так что у нас стримы, наверное, будут по 3 часа в ближайшие полгода. Потому что начинать стримы на час раньше у меня навряд ли получится. Хотя посмотрим. Но, скорее всего, в ближайшее время стримы будут по 3 часа.
Raiden, what you said before about your sword being a tool of justice, I just want to say I agree 100%. I wish all PMCs thought that way.
Glad to hear you say that.
You mentioned it was part of some samurai code?
Yeah. I didn't grow up using a sword. I fell into it by chance, during a mission. After that, I decided to train with the HF blade. I studied a lot of samurai techniques. I really got into it. Started learning more and more about ancient Japan and the samurai code. I tore through stacks of books, movies, anything I could get my hands on.
Somehow hard to imagine you settling in with a big bucket of popcorn.
What? A cyborg can't have hobbies? I'll have you know I'm actually a huge movie buff.
Okay, okay. So that's where you picked up this Sword of Justice creed?
Yeah. Most of it from a single master named Munenori Yagyu. He founded a school of swordsmanship on the idea that violence can be necessary for the greater good. He called it Katsujinken, the life-giving sword. Yagyu believed power isn't evil in itself. It's how it's applied that matters. As time went on, Katsujinken incorporated deterrence. It took on the meaning of winning without fighting. Or as I like to say, one sword keeps another in the sheath. That's from George Herbert. He was an English priest, 17th century, almost the same era as Yagyu.
Huh. It's a universal idea, I guess.
Рейден грузит.
You could frame the same message as use of a necessary evil, but I think it's a good mindset for any PMC.
At least as long as there's fighting that requires us in the first place.
Which doesn't seem likely to change anytime soon.
Да ладно, ваш первый бой не трудный был. Хотя смотри, какой класс. Маг оказался не очень. Может, там кто-то еще хуже есть.
I have to hand it to you guys. Cyborgs are just amazing to me. So much power and speed.
It's not all gravy.
No? How so?
Well, things have improved a lot in the past few years. But back when I was modded for the first time, keeping artificial blood free of impurities was a huge hassle. Artificial muscles need a constant flow of oxygen from a blood source, just like the real thing. But it was a challenge getting the kidney units as small as they needed to be. We all had to undergo routine dialysis.
Sounds rough.
Used to be even worse back when Dr. Clark was still experimenting. Bad nerve connections would screw with the test subject's pain receptors. It was torture. Compared to that, I had it pretty easy.
It wasn't until recently that you could eat and drink like normal people, right?
That's right. We generally use glucose-based nutrient packs to keep the brain running. But we can absorb nutrients orally now, too. Whatever we eat's broken down by nanomachines, and we have taste sensors as well. It's not exactly like it was before. The difference is, I can turn those sensors off if I don't need them. That's been surprisingly useful.
So cyborgs can live pretty much normal lives now?
Well, getting there. We still need fuel cells and nutrition packs, not to mention regular maintenance. It's a lot of dough. Of course, another big problem's how other people look at you.
How do you mean?
There was a time when I wore artificial skin. Tried to look as close to normal as possible. I've still got some now, on my face. The tech at the time wasn't great. You still looked pretty unnatural. Maybe you could fool someone from far away, but up close, even a baby could tell I wasn't human. Going out shopping or whatever, you could feel all those eyes on you. I tried to find something to do other than fight, but looking like I did got me 2 strikes pretty much as soon as I walked through the door.
That sounds terrible.
Well, you appreciated it when people were honest about it, at least. But when they were too polite to just say so, that was rough. Things are getting better these days, though. Artificial skin's improved a lot. And you don't get so many stares now that the general public knows about cyborgs.
Maybe I should look into the cyborg thing, huh? I could eat whatever I want, whenever I want.
Probably cheaper just getting lipo, Courtney.
Jerk.
Женщины.
Courtney, there's something I'd like your opinion on.
What's up?
It's how I replenish my electrolytes. I'm basically feeding off these cyborgs.
Oh, yeah. That. I don't really see any better options, to be honest. I doubt your old body would have stood up against the Desperado Captains or Jetstream Sam. And if we fail here, it's not only bad for us, but for our clients, and all of Sukumi.
Yeah, you're right.
Besides, it's like you say. No one's forcing them to be here. They chose to throw in with the terrorists.
Yeah.
Look, I won't lie. I don't feel great about it. But in the scheme of things, yes, I think it's justified.
Thanks. I guess it's never black and white in this business, is it?
No. No, it's not. Do you and Kevin work a lot together, Raiden?
Well, Maverick's not that big.
Well,
Unless you're a
компания
short-term
Закази,
contractor, you tend to work with the same guys. Last job we were on together, I was hired by the Carabinieri to track down 3 Albanian mafiosos. They'd fled Italy for Montenegro, and I had to bring them back. It wasn't easy, All three of them had cybernetic upgrades. Without Kev, I could have been in serious trouble.
He was with an NGO before Maverick, I think, handling disarmament work for the UN.
Yeah. He and Boris met while working together to resolve a conflict in Africa. They hit it off. So when Boris gave him a job opportunity, he took it.
I kind of wonder why. We're pretty much the opposite of a disarmament outfit.
3 things are needed after a conflict: disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration into society. That's the way it usually goes. I guess Kevin felt like the process was getting to be a joke. Even if the UN taps the group that caused the conflict for post-war cleanup, there's no way of ensuring their sincere cooperation. There's always a chance they'll underreport the number of soldiers they've got on hand.
That, or they only disarm the useless parts of their force. The ones with outdated weapons and gear.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they can hide their standing force, the one with all the up-to-date weaponry, from the UN. Afghanistan saw a lot of that, since the wars were all waged by rival military cliques. Anyway, Kev saw that happening on a daily basis in Africa. Guess he just wanted a job where he had a firmer grasp on what was going on. And then along comes Boris. Kev had to think it over for a while, sure. But, well, here we all are.
PMCs are going to need more people like him. And me too, I guess. You know, civilian viewpoints.
Couldn't agree more.
Riding. Can I ask you something?
Sure. What is it?
Just wondering. Why'd you join Maverick in the first place?
Well, Boris and I go way back. Our first time working together was rescuing Sunny. That's Colonel Gerlukovich's granddaughter. He and Boris were good friends back in the USSR.
Right. The Patriots were holding her?
Yeah. I was
Сейчас будем
mainly working
закругляться
with the
медицинской, потому что
PLA,
уже
but
практически
Boris was a
час
huge
слушаем.
help. His Russian military connections paid off big time. All his covert op experience, too. He wasn't working pro bono, of course, but he went above and beyond the call. The Patriots were a threat to everyone, not just America. He got that.
And when Paradise Lost disbanded, he formed a new outfit and got them all work.
Most of them, anyway, including me.
Did you ever consider another line of work? Something non-military, I mean?
I'm a cyborg, Courtney. What am I gonna do? Drive an ice cream truck? I can pass as normal from a distance, but up close, anyone can tell it's artificial skin. Good jobs aren't easy to come by these days, even for non-cyborgs. And I've got a family to feed. Besides, I've been fighting my whole life. It's just who I am.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
It's fine, Courtney. No worries.
Дофига диалогов. Диалоги неплохие, мне нравится, но целый час слушать их — это перебор. Так что на сегодня закругляемся, продолжим завтра. Приятная игра, приятно играть. Так что в ближайшее время будем играть именно в эту игру. Спасибо всем за компанию. Кто у нас новенький, не забывайте подписываться, ставить лайки. И увидимся мы с вами завтра в 8 вечера по Киеву, в 9 вечера по Москве. Всем пока.